Our focus determines our reality. I am a writer and blogger with a mission to expose the blinders preventing a progressive vision for healthy and safe Barbados. On April 5th, 2012, the United Nations Human Rights Chief urged Barbados to adopt more effective legislation measures to combat discrimination, domestic and sexual violence in the country, adding that an attitudinal change is needed in society as a whole to tackle these issues. Quote, domestic violence against women and children and sexual harassment occur all over the world. However, reports suggest that they are particularly serious problems here in Barbados and other Caribbean countries, and rape is shockingly commonplace, said the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Navi Pillay, in a statement at the end of her visit to the country. November 26, 2011, by Angela Levine, DailyMail.com, Mail Online. 2 years ago, as her 60th birthday approached, Diane, a primary school teacher, decided to treat herself to a holiday. Quote, I decided on Barbados, not least because everything I read said how safe it was, end quote. On Monday, October 25th, I was walking to the beach as usual at about 2 p.m. in the bright sunshine. I turned down a short pathway and at the end stood for a few moments, wondering whether to go to the left and swim with the turtles or to the right, when I suddenly felt a powerful arm grab me around the neck from behind and drag me backwards. He continued to drag me backwards over bits of glass and other debris until we got to what was a derelict hotel. He threw me on an old mattress and I started fighting with him with all my strength because I was terrified he would kill me. I was overpowered. He then took off my sarong and bikini and raped me. I felt sure he would kill me because I had seen his face. So I told him I was a 61-year-old grandmother with 4 children and 9 grandchildren. When he had finished, he said, quote, make yourself decent, but if you tell anyone about this, I will kill you, end quote. He then walked away. 3 police officers arrived shortly afterwards. They told me to get in the car and they would drive me around to see if I could see the rapist. Their attitude was totally clinical, and not one said any word of sympathy. I didn't see him, and after about an hour, I was taken to the local police station where I waited another hour before being driven to see the female police doctor. I was then driven back to the station and, to my horror, left sitting outside in the back of the police car on my own for 45 minutes. I was so terrified that the rapist who had threatened to kill me if I went to the police might walk by and see me that I didn't dare get out and walk into the police station. Quote, while I was there, someone from the British consulate came to see me. She told me that the police had only just told her that another British woman who was in her 20s had been raped at the same spot 2 days earlier. I later discovered there are at least 55 known rapes on the island a year, 13 in the past year in the spot where I was attacked. In fact, according to the Royal Barbados Police Force website, there were 169 incidents of rape, indecent assault, and assault with intent to rape in 2010. The next day at 5:30, I was driven to the police station to give a statement, Diane continues. In the end, it all comes down to the same thing. It was just another day. I was questioned for 5.5 hours without being offered any food or drink in 86-degree Fahrenheit heat. My questioner was a female police officer who plainly didn't know what she was doing and kept asking me the same questions over and over again while she constantly checked the police manual. By 11 p.m. I was in agony with my shoulder and asked if I could go home, not least to take a painkiller. The officer turned to me and said, quote, it's not easy for me, you know. I have to do my tour of duty after I finish with you, end quote. I was speechless at her lack of compassion. Later on, I was again taken to the police station, this time for an identity parade. The rapist wasn't there, which was lucky in one way as all the men were led right past me as they went out and could identify me. End quote. On another visit to the hospital, she was left in the casualty department with the victim support officer went off to chat to her friend. Quote, I was absolutely terrified and totally vulnerable about what might happen to me. End quote. She catches her breath. Quote, please put this in. People need to know how they treat their visitors in Barbados. End quote. She was being taken back to her condominium by police when they stopped at a shopping mall where she had to sit waiting while a female police officer went to buy a t-shirt. Diane flew home on Sunday, October 31st. She was told by the police tourism officer and the British consulate that she would be kept up to date with her case, but Diane says that unless she pesters the individuals concerned, she hears nothing. Her experience chimed with those of another British woman whose story was made public earlier this year. Former actress Hilary Heath was the victim of a rape in Barbados in 2004 and said that police had seemed more interested in protecting the island's reputation. Quote, both the police and the consulate are inept, end quote. Diane says, quote, I am so angry that no one has taken what happened to me seriously or realizes the impact that it has had on my life. My collarbone has never healed, and living with it is a terrible reminder. I will no longer go abroad or go out in the evening, and wherever I walk during the day, I am constantly looking anxiously over my shoulder. I have submitted a complaint to the Police Complaints Authority in Barbados. Last week, after months, I received a reply from the chairman saying they can't investigate my complaint because my case is pending before the courts. What nonsense! I was complaining about procedure, not the case itself. I'm going to keep on. I want justice and to know they haven't dragged anyone off the street just to make a charge. It is also hard to believe that throughout my experience, no police officer or victim support worker asked me if I was all right or showed any sympathy. All I was doing was walking to the sea at 2 p.m. on a beautiful day. It never occurred to me that I could be raped close to a luxury estate on a paradise island yards from where celebrities stay. But if a 61-year-old can be raped, it is a dangerous place for women of any age. End quote. The police in Barbados were not available for comment. Our focus determines our reality. I am a writer and blogger with a mission to expose the blinders preventing a progressive vision for a healthy and safe Barbados.